Hey YouTube, this is NJ4Wider5, and I've got, I guess it would be a pretty simple project today. It's a, I guess you'd call it a balance module for a 10S battery. Most of all the stuff I have, I don't have nothing that can balance a 10S battery. I have stuff that can charge a 10S battery, and that's using like boost converters and stuff like that. None of my power supplies can handle 42 volts, so I made a couple of little modules that, you know, as you've seen in past videos, where I could, you know, charge 42 volts. I think I could charge all the way up to like almost 120 volts if I needed to be. But I've got a few projects coming up where I'm going to be needing a 10S battery. So in this video, I'm going to put together a 10S battery, and I'll be using my new welder, of course, and I'll be using these little, I guess they're phone plugs. They're USB phone plugs. Let's see if I can get this open real quick. I'll be using USB phone plugs. When taken apart, they look like this, and I'll be using TP4056s. But in order to do this, you can't just run these in series and be gone with it, you know, just be done with it, because apparently the negatives are the same through it. So like, you can, let me show you. Anyways, the negatives are combined. So in order to run these in series, you've got to use a power supply, and you can't use one power supply on it because the negatives would be connected all the way through, which until when you go to connect these in series would cause the negatives of these to be connected, and you can't have that when you're running a series, because it's got to be positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, and so forth and so forth. So in order to do it correctly, you've got to find a power supply, or like in my project, you know, USB, you know, AC to USB charger. These are 5 volts, and I went with 5 volt 1 amps. No, 5 volt 2 amps. And the reason why I did that is because these can take up to an amp each, and I didn't want to go with a USB charger that only gave 1 amp and then something happened down the road where it stopped producing 1 amp, and, you know, having issues with it charging. So I went with the two. These are actually 2.1, and in order, before I even take any of these apart, or the ones that I have taken apart, I run ahead and test them with something like this and something like this. And all you simply do is just connect this in the back. And I usually start out at about 1 amp, and I'll plug them in. I'll plug it into here, and then I'll start them out at 1 amp, and I'll gradually increase it to 2 amps, and then I'll let it sit there for a little while. And if everything holds and I don't see no fluctuation and all that good stuff, it's good to go. So far, these are anklers, I believe they are. I got these for probably, I want to say 20 bucks total. Somebody was telling me that you could get the same, or you can get some like this at the dollar store, but dollar stores near me didn't have them. The only ones they had at the dollar store were 1 amp chargers, and I didn't want to go with 1 amp, so I went online. I'll leave the link in the description, and I went with 2.1 amp. And so far, everyone I've tested seems to test okay. And looking at the boards, they actually look, you know, quality. And these are totally isolated, so once I connect power to them, the negatives won't be disconnected, so that I can run these in series. From these, I'll be running these into series, and then I'll be bringing them out to a pin, something like this. I'll be bringing them out to something like this, and that way whenever I'm ready to plug it in, I can plug it in directly into there. And I believe because of the way this is built, and this is going to have 11 pins for a 10S, I can charge up to I can charge two 3S batteries, two 4S batteries, and a 3S, and you know, etc, just as long as you have enough pins open at the same time. And it doesn't really matter. You can balance charge anything under a 10S pretty easily. I wanted to go to 12S, but I didn't want to push it. I want to make sure that my first one's just a 10S. I never really had anything that I need to go to 12S yet, or 14S or 16S or anything up in that high level. So this battery I build is going to go ahead and it's going to have a protection circuit, and this is a 20 amp protection circuit, BMS, and I'm going to go 10S 1 2 3 4P on this first build. And then what we'll do is, after I'm done building it, I'll pull some power out of it with the device that I plan on using with it later on, and then we'll do a quick video showing these balance charging it, and of course we'll test it as it goes to make sure that it's actually balance charging. And then yeah, it's a pretty simple design. I mean, I'm gonna probably do it with my famous wood and plexiglass, probably plexiglass bottom, plexiglass top, and wood rounds. It seems to be the easiest for me. I'm not sure if I really want to go with anything else. I'm gonna put a fan in there. I may try to cut a piece of copper bus bar I have, cut small pieces of copper bus bar, and I'll probably throw some whatever you want to call it, a dab of computer paste on here, and I'm going to throw a little piece of copper bus bar on there. It'll help with the cooling, and then the fan will blow on it, and the fan will blow on these, and it should keep everything pretty cool. Of course, I'll leave vent holes around. I'll try to put vent holes around, actually, probably, you know, a couple of vent holes around everything so that it cools pretty easily. I'm gonna try to keep it as compact as possible. I know it's not gonna be too compact, but who knows. So I guess that's about all I really have. Let's get into the build.
do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. We lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Yeah. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got few more days to slay, it's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. We lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. I wonder what went wrong today, Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. I wonder what went wrong today, Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. We lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Yeah. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. still got few more days to slay. It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. I wonder what went wrong today. Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words you say, to say the words you remember. I wonder what went wrong today. Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words you remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. We lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got few more days to slay, it's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
Okay, well there you go. It's my take on a 10S balance board or balance circuit that you can build for probably under 20 bucks. A lot of the stuff I put on here is optional. So I mean, the only problem I ran into is, as you can see, is the LEDs. Apparently the 3-wire LEDs, I don't know what they do to the board, but they cause it to kind of like, I don't know, they just acted real weird. The light wasn't blinking on the side and it showed a red light. It just acted real strange, so I went ahead and pulled that out. I've seen other people online, they've used the 2-wire, so the 2-wire might be different. Maybe down the road I'll buy some 2-wire. All I had was 3-wire, so I didn't have no way to test it out or see if that was the case. So for right now, I'm just gonna put together a little thing where I can test the voltage on here, you know, a little pin as I go along, and that should be good enough. This is only part 1 of a 2-part video. I'm still got to build the battery. I'm going to go ahead and test that tab water that I built in my last video. So I'll build a 10S with the BMS, or it's actually not a BMS, it's just a protection circuit. And then we'll put this thing to the test and see how well it balances. I'm not expecting it to balance great, but I'm expecting it to balance enough. So hopefully it does a job. If it doesn't, I mean, you know, it was a good thought. I made sure that I built this to where I could take everything apart if I wanted to, or I could replace parts pretty easily. And that's about it. So I guess if you got any questions, please leave them in the comment section. If you see anything I can do better, make sure to leave it in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will check you guys out in my next video.